good fucking. Oh my god! Oh my god! Straight destroyed her! Or him! Or them! Oh my god! Whoa! Whoa! Did you... How much damage did I just do there? Come on out, buddy. I am hot. On fire. Bow action. Going down. That was easy. Going up, okay. Forward for poison, because you're gonna roll in it. Oh, I missed that one, okay. Bang, bang. Oh, why did I miss that? Just hold down. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. And great sword action. Going back over here. What the hell just happened? Okay, sir. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness! Blue player vanquished!
Oh my god.
Another round! Another cut destroyed! Slip away! Well fought!
I got you. Got you. Oh my god. Is he... Nope, he's not getting out of this. He's not getting out of this. Greatsword too strong. Greatsword too strong. Oh my god, two-piece. How about you come here, sir? You do that. Boing! Haha! You ain't seen nobody use that, huh? Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna put that on you. Yeah. Oh, no. He messed up. He had to win. He had to fight one. He had to fight one and you lost it. Are we really getting get away. Oh my god! The greatsword is so nasty!
Yo, what's good YouTube? It is your boy BA and we are back with another New World video, man. And today I wanted to show you guys my greatsword and bow build that I've been using since the launch of Brimstone Sand. Now I knew when Brimstone dropped that I was going to use the greatsword at least to level it up and just see how it is, but I did not know that it was going to become my favorite weapon in the game. This thing is so good and I've really been enjoying it. So the build that I'm using is a leeching build as far as when it comes to the runestones. I have the leeching gems throughout all of my gear and my weapons, and I really like it. Before I moved to leeching, I had the full nature build because I have nature attunement, and I was going with the nature gem. And it was really well. It hit hard and I really enjoyed it, but it didn't have the sustain that I needed, that I actually get out of this build, just because every little bit of damage I do adds a little bit of health, and that little bit of health helps me personally in so many different situations. But let me show you what gear I'm using along with it. As far as attributes, I run 100 strength, 315 dex, and that's with the 40 dex food, as well as I run 100 con. And overall, that seems to be a really good combination. The bow hits really hard at it still, and the greatsword, it slaps. So I'm telling you, you definitely want to try this out. As far as my gear, I have a lot of pieces that I want, but I don't think it's fully there. There are a few pieces that I do want to change out and try to make a little bit better. And you guys will see as I kind of go along and show the different things. But as of right now, the build works really well, and a few of the pieces I still have left over from my bow and spear build. Those are just pieces I haven't been able to upgrade and switch out yet. But let me get to it. So for our headpiece, we're running a full dex headpiece with a diamond leeching gem inside it. The main perks here were freedom and resilient. This is a piece that's left over from our spear and bow build. The skewer is something that I use occasionally with that build, but overall it's not anything that I use at all with this build. So I do think it may be something that in the near future I'll be looking to upgrade and swap out for another piece. But for the time being, it has served its purpose and served me very well. This was actually the first piece that I ever received that had freedom on it, that showed me just that little bit of why freedom is important when it comes to just getting out of sticky situations. Next, let's move on to our chest piece. The headpiece we actually got as a drop in the Tempest boxes. You know, when they took away the orbs and they gave you a bunch of boxes for the orbs you had. I got this in one of those drops, so I was just very lucky for that. Moving on, our chest piece we actually got out of an OPR box, and it is awesome. Fully dex, medium, perfect for the build. We also have a leeching diamond in here as well, and all of the perks on this one is really good for me. I love the cooldowns because I love spamming all of my abilities as much as possible. Resilient for PvP, of course, and then Shrieking Fortification. I think it really just speaks for itself, honestly. I was very lucky to get this out of the box. Like, honestly, I was extremely happy. Next, moving on, we have our full con gloves. We're rocking shrinking heals, refreshing, and resilient. If I am not mistaken, I could be mistaken, but I believe I got this off the PvP track. I think I got it off the PvP track, and I've been rocking with it for a while. I've had these gloves for quite some time, since early on when they added the PvP track. But overall, it's been working out really well for me. In this one, I have a Leeching Onyx, just because I think physical damage just really destroys me. So I wanted to make sure I was good for that. Next up is the regular pants. Now we got these from farming a open world boss in Brimstone Sands. I will actually post a little picture somewhere on the screen right now that shows you where to farm that boss. And I think there's 2 different spawns that the boss spawns, so have a few different spots to farm them, and good luck. But these pants are absolutely awesome, just like my chest piece. Refreshing, resilient, shrinking fortification, and here we have a malachite, I believe, yeah, leeching malachite. Yeah, so we put that leeching malachite in there just for the extra elemental resistance, just because, or absorption, I guess, because we really had none, and we needed to get a little bit because we were kind of getting slapped around by the ice and fire mages. Lastly, we have our boots that we also got out of the OPR box, so we were lucky as well. These are one piece that I would possibly be looking to upgrade. Now I'm on the fence about refreshing ward. Maybe you guys can let me know if even just having it on one piece is worth it. I do take a lot of damage. That's one of my biggest kind of downfalls, is I put myself in the line of taking a lot of damage. So I think it does help me personally a little bit, but I think it could be swapped out with another perk that could serve me better purpose. So we'll see. Maybe I'll find a pair of boots that have like a weapon perk on it, just kind of add a little bit more to the build, but we'll kind of see as we go on. For right now, it's been working really well, and we also slapped another leeching diamond in there. Next we'll move on to our jewelry. So our jewelry, we haven't really touched too much outside of our ring, but for our amulet, we're rocking a full dex amulet. We got the onyx in there, fortified recovery, because like I said, we take a lot of damage, so a little bit of fortified does actually come in handy. I actually had another amulet that switched that recovery for something else, and I thought it didn't make a difference to me, but me personally, or I thought it wouldn't make a difference for me, but I could totally see the difference. It's not a huge difference, but it definitely helps. Every little thing helps when it comes to getting out of those sticky situations. We actually bought this off the trade post, I believe. So I believe someone crafted this. I guess it was a craft or either drop. You never know, but these are the perks that I have on here. But I would say health and divine are definitely the two very important perks you want to have on there, just when it comes to healing and the amount of health that you have. Next, let's move on to our ring, which we also got from farming an open world boss. So we'll also drop the little picture and where the farm this at, but this adds on to the leeching, so we get 5.2% of our damage as health. That adds on top of it. We do more slash damage for our greatsword, and then we needed the extra critical chance. I've tried using rings without keen awareness, and for me personally, I think I really count on that crit damage and just doing big chunks of damage. So not having it on my ring was very critical. I thought hardy was gonna be the big thing that I wanted on my ring, but I think keen awareness was definitely the perk that once I switched out of it, I noticed more than others. Next, moving on to our earring. This was another craft. One of the things here, I think the earring is very kind of personal as far as what perks you think work best for you, but I personally always like to have healthy toast, because I have a crap ton of mana potions that I just have sitting around that I don't use, that for the most part I never really saw that they were selling for much, so I've just hoarded them, and then now this just gives me a reason to just spam them and just spam using them, and it gives me a nice little extra heal within the battle, and I use and count on that so much. I would say, to me personally, on the earring, that was my personal most looked after perk, because I mean, refreshing toast is really good, but I feel like most earrings is gonna have refreshing toast because people know that people are looking for that, but that healthy toast is another addition to that really comes in handy for me. And then lastly, duplicating toast I think is really slept on, but especially when it comes to using those top tier foods and the top tier honing stones, just the chance of being able to use that for free really pays off for me so many times as far as saving money, because everything is a money sink in this game, and just being able to use any of these tier 5 things or any of the foods, like I've made this last so long, like I've had like 4 or 5 times that I went to use it and it didn't consume because of the duplicating toast, and that is just really awesome. Same for all my luck food as well. So I would say not even for PvP, just for New World in general, that duplicating toast will definitely help you save money as you kind of go on. Moving on to the weapons. So our great sword, a lot of the clips that you're gonna see or that you have saw from the stream as well, I did not have my great sword to 625 yet, as well as a lot of those clips I did not have it leveled all the way to 20. So when Brimstone dropped, I got more into the actual exploring and the content of just Brimstone itself. I didn't do too much PvP the first few days, so I kind of just leveled as I went, and I didn't look into anything in particular. I just kind of played around with the abilities and saw what I liked, and that's how I got to the combination of things that I used. But this great sword right here is extremely nasty, and it is amazing for our build because of the life stealing that you have on the weapon, as well as leeching crosscut. Now leeching crosscut is actually insane, and I think is insanely underrated. The thing with it is timing. If you can time that final hit, you get a massive amount of heals. I think people don't understand the amount of heals that you get. It's like popping a big pot and just going. I'm telling you, you can be in the midst of battle, about to die, hit that at the right time, zoom, 75% health, your enemy is down, he doesn't understand what's going on, your health bar just went all the way up, he thought you were gonna die, now he's dead. I'm telling you, it really comes in handy. That leeching crosscut is actually insane. This was farmed at Red Claw. I will put the picture on the screen if I have not already. He is an Ebon skill. Get on out there while everybody's out there and get your farming in, because it took me so long to get this, and I'm telling you, it was a boring farm. So get out there and get your great sword. If you do not want to farm for a great sword, another great alternative would be to do the Halloween event if you still have access to it, or if you can buy any of the Halloween greatsword patterns. Now this was the great sword that I was using before I went and farmed the Bloodsucker sword, and this one did absolutely amazing. This is actually the sword I used with my nature build when I was telling you that I had a nature build that I used, and it worked really good. And as you see, that leeching crosscut is on there as well, because even not in a leeching build, it still does so much healing, and is absolutely insane. So even just getting a great sword like this got the job done for me. So I would say, if you don't want to farm, get the patterns, get you a 600 gear square great sword if you can craft it. Lastly, we will show you the bow. Now I've been using this bow for quite some time. I got it off the trade post, and honestly I have been so happy. I don't think it was super expensive. I think I saw it on the post and I was like, dang, they're letting this go for a steal. So I scooped it up and I've been using it ever since. Has the entombment on it, does crazy damage. Keenly Jagged is such an amazing perk. It comes in handy so many times for me. That bleed does so much damage, and it puts pressure on people, and it secures kills a lot of the time as well. And as you can see, I also have Keen just to get that extra crit chance when I can. Outside of this, let's go into, I'll show you my attributes really quickly. We're looking at 100 strength, 315 dex, 100 con, and that's with the 40 dex food. So even if you don't have 40 dex food, you can do the 30 dex food, and that'll still get you over 300. And even one little thing as well, if you don't mind popping your food more often, the dex event food, look it up on the market. Sometimes it's not going for super expensive. So I would scoop that up and add 33 to your build, even though you have to pop that every 25 minutes. So now as we move on to the trees, I will show what I use. So I start with Crosscut. Crosscut is the main ability as far as this build, because that third hit, you're gonna get the heals from the perk on the actual greatsword, and as you can see, it does 160% damage. So I was not lying when I said it does so much heal. Like, it does so much damage and it does so much heals. So your enemies are going to see their bar go down while your bar goes up. And that's the main thing with that. It keeps you in the fight and it gets them out the fight. And that's why I'm going to keep that around. Relentless Rush is your mobility, as well as, depending on how you use it, there's different perks that really come in handy. Like this one in Onslaught Stance, when you hit somebody, you're gonna root them for 1 second, and 1 second may not seem like it's long, but it's long enough for you to set up your next attack and do more and more damage. And that's what the greatsword is about: doing damage, putting pressure on people, and getting them out of here. Next up, we're gonna go into Chestpiece Strike. Now that is one that's really good for me, because personally people run away from me a lot, and it allows me to close that gap and bring them back to me. I've tried using Roaring Rupture, and I've seen a lot of people do great things with it, because the grit you get from that is actually awesome. But me personally, I just am not good with it in PvP. PvE, I absolutely love it as a ability, but me personally, I just can't land the ability as much as I would want to, and that's why I opted to go with Steadfast. Lastly, we'll move on and show the bow. So for the bow, we have Poison Shot, as well as Poison Shot doing 12% weapon damage per second. Now that is a great chunk of damage. Do not count that out. Some people sleep on that. They'll run right through it and they'll get that damage, and that's 12% per second, and they'll be popping those pots. Then we have Penetrating Shot. So for Penetrating Shot, it does a whole lot of damage just on its own. So I decided, did somebody he just murdered that bird right in front of me. I'm not gonna lie, it scared me for a little bit. Back to it though. It does a lot of damage, and I use it all the time. It's a good way for me to kind of steady a good shot and start with some really good damage. And then lastly, we have Explosive Arrow. Now Explosive Arrow is one that I have struggled with and practiced with a lot. When I first started using Explosive Arrow, I honestly switched out and I used Rapid Shot for a very long time, because I could not land the arrow shot. Like, I am an old man. I got old man eyes. Let me tell you something about these eyes. I can't see sometimes. And I will take a shot and I will miss, and I'm telling you, it is not nice. But the more I played around with it and the more I practiced with it, the better I got with it, and now I can land that shot fairly well. And as I was looking into the PTR patch notes, apparently Explosive Arrow is going to get a nice little buff where the arrow size is going to be increased to match the rest of the size of heavy shots, which is going to be insane, because that means I am going to slap like every explosive arrow, and that's going to be even more insane, especially since that final perk gives you 170% damage. Even though that radius is only 1.3, 170% damage on the bow is actually crazy. Please do not count it out. But that is all I have as far as my build here today. Next, I am going to show a bunch of clips just from OPR and Arena with how I use the build and how just different fights have played out for me. Maybe you can get an idea of how I approach different things and things that may work for you, because I think when it comes to PvP, one of the big things that people need to I guess lean more into is doing what works for you. I feel like a lot of people kind of move out and try to see what exactly works for everybody else, and not all the time that's going to work for you. So find what abilities works for you, what perks work for you, what rune glass gems work for you, what abilities like the Heartstone abilities work for you. because me personally, I've been bouncing around. I forgot to go into that. I use the vines. The vines actually work really, really well as far as locking enemies down in a particular place for a short amount of time for you to turn around and do some burst damage to them. But I also have messed around with the cannon blast and dark descent. But I think out of the three, my personal favorite is the vines. But like I said, it's personal preference. Play around with what works for you. So I hope you guys take a look at these clips, and I hope you guys enjoy them. If you're new here, remember to hit that like button on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel because we got a lot more coming with New World videos. I am just getting started with getting my foot wet into the New World content. But with that being said, enjoy the rest of the video. It's your boy BA, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.